So the Stonegate Group have 4,500 licensed premises across this country, and in 800 of them, they've decided to introduce surge pricing. This means at weekends or in evenings when it's very, very busy, and the price of their drinks will go up by 20p or perhaps as much as £1. I'm a bit surprised by this. It seems to me to be the opposite of happy hour. Happy hour used to happen in pubs and bars, actually when the most people were there, perhaps trying to get them to spend even more. Which model works economically, I'm not sure, but is the whole thing not just the most gigantic Mickey take? Well, I'm joined by Hugh Osmond, founder of Punch Taverns, one of the UK's largest chains of public houses. Hugh, surge pricing in pubs is a very new concept.
Yes, and I'm really glad to see somebody else trying it first. Look, it's not a new thing to adjust prices according to how busy you are. We see it in hotels, we see it in airlines, so it's not an entirely...
Or even Uber.
Yeah, and even Uber, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not a new concept. It's been talked about in the drinks and restaurant industry for quite a long time. Obviously, there are times, as you've just said, people make it cheaper. So a happy hour is, if you like, reverse surge pricing.
Yes.
And I think possibly, so long as you are saying that prices will be cheaper when we're quiet, it is perhaps legitimate to try charging people more when you're busy. I mean, we do expect, if you go out after the pub to a nightclub, which I'm sure you're going to do later on this evening,
of course,
drinks will be more expensive. So I think there is some justification for it, but I'll be very interested to see how it works and how Stonegate do.
Well, the Stonegate Group have responded by saying Stonegate Group, like all retail businesses, regularly review pricing to manage costs, but also to ensure we offer great value for money to our guests. See, it seems to me from a business model perspective that what they're saying to their punters is, when it's busy, you'll pay a lot more, and when it's not busy, you'll pay the same as you're paying now. Doesn't strike me as being a very good incentive.
No, I'd agree if it works like that. But I think that, for example, the principle of happy hour was really always that you got people in when you were quiet, and then hopefully they stayed when prices went up. So the principle of kind of starting cheap and pricing out isn't, as I say, new. I think that, I mean, the most important thing for any food or drink establishment, to me, is that you get lots of customers in. And to do that, they have to be reasonably happy. So if they just raise prices without any time lowering prices as well and giving people extra value, I think they'll lose customers and they'll be back where they started or worse. But so long as there is a mix of cheaper prices at quiet times and higher price at busy times, I think it's OK. And you do have to, well, it's been a really bad time for pubs in the industry. The last 3 or 4 years have been the worst I've known in hospitality.
Lockdown, everything else.
Everything else. I mean, I've been in the industry, dare I say it, since the early 80s.
Yep.
And this is the worst period for hospitality, the worst 3 years I can ever remember. So people are trying to do things differently and trying to do things new and trying all kinds of things. And you've got to put this in that context. But as I say, I think it's an interesting experiment, and what they have to do is say, if you come when we're quiet, we'll give you a really good deal.
Yeah, no. I mean, if it was sold to me that way, I'd think, oh, well, you know, maybe we go in now or whatever it may be. I know that Wetherspoons have sold off 35 to 40 of their premises. How are you getting on with Punch Taverns? Are you maintaining your stock of pubs? Are you getting rid of some?
Well, I think we are hoping that, you know, things return to normal. I mean, basically, or return to normal. That you know, people. I mean, there were, you know, there are good signs in drinking pubs, or there were good signs. It's not been helped by having a really bad summer, July and August. Global warming has come late this year, as you'll have noticed, and September has been a lot better for the industry. All is not lost in the pub world. That, you know, that is for sure, and it's just a question, I think, of people fully getting back in the habit of dropping into pubs, not thinking they have to book, just going out spontaneously, and you know, the good pubs will come through it.
Well, I hope they do. For your sake, and for the sake of local communities and everybody. Hugh Osmond, thank you for coming in and joining us this evening.